You are listening to the Lithuanian Radio Hour, heard every Sunday at 5 p.m. here on WWUH 91.3 FM and always streaming live online at www.org. Today we'll be visiting with band Steel Wolf from New York. We've had over the years many Lithuanian performers right here, chatting with us. None of them performing, though. We've had Vaidas, Matuza, even Kernagis. And today we present to you Steel Wolf, and we'll be chatting with them after this first song.
Klubnikas, put my mind at ease. Conductor shouted, all tickets please. I asked if next time he could yellow. I needed sleep and I fought to go. Hear the scraping of the pistons. Oh, hail of crosses in the distance. Lord, let me get away. Midnight train is so late. I drank a double shot to calm my nerves. Motorman hugs a couple of curves. Neither was what had made me green. 'Twas 2 days before a ghastly scene. Hey, hear the scraping of the pistons. A hill of crosses in the distance. Lord, let me get away. Midnight train is surely.
Oh, it's my first time to this shrine, and this is why I run. God will surely forgive me there for evils I have done.
About to drink my one last drop when I saw the shield of a transit cop. Shudder at the lengthy war in red. I butchered my boss and then I fled. My flesh was puddled in my defeat. The porter had to clean up my seat. Now my colors have then turned gray. I never got to see shoulder. Hey, can you scraping of the pistons? I can't see crosses in the distance. Oh, I don't know how to pray. Could I train a shoulder? Scraping of the pistons, hill of crosses in the distance. Lord, let me get away. Midnight train is surely.
Okay, Labas, we're back live. Again, we have the band Steel Wolf. They're actually in the studio with us here, and they're from New York, old friends of ours. And was wondering if you guys could talk about how your band came together and how you picked the very Lithuanian name.
Well, the band started in August of 1982. It was me, Mark Vidas as a drummer, with Alex Saulius on guitar, and your cousin Saulius Dzikas on keyboards. And my mother actually suggested a name, Steel Wolf Geležinės Vilkas. Actually, she suggested Geležinės Vilkas, and then which is actually translated as Iron Wolf, because of the Lithuanian, the tie into the Lithuanian legend of the wolf on the hill where this capital city was built. And because we kind of already perceived the band as a heavier metal band, even at that young stage, because we were listening to Iron Maiden and that Judas Priest and stuff, and we said, well, let's not be called Iron Wolf, let's go for Steel Wolf. And shortly thereafter, Andy actually had suggested bringing in Rimas and Vitas Kazis, who then in turn brought in Edvardas Kazis, and they were, Rim was playing rhythm guitar and Vitas was playing bass guitar, and at that time Edvardas Kazis was only a vocalist, and we did our first gig in March of '83 at a junior high school in Hicksville, and slowly that went into three bands. There was the Steel Wolf kind of scaled down to a trio of me, Ed, and Tevynes, and BKO, the Brothers Kazis Orchestra, came out of that band, and your cousin Andy had started his own band, Klaida, and all three bands were kind of circulating at the time in the New York area.
Yeah, I know people here really know the Brothers Kazis Orchestra. I mean, they played many times in New Britain at the Jada Vakaras and had a really good time. You had your dad on accordion to play the polka type stuff, and then rock and roll.
25 years ago, wasn't that long ago?
Not long ago, no.
Yeah.
And then the current lineup in between. I mean, now it's still Edvardas Kazis, who's not here today. Now currently plays bass, and he's been one of the most. He went from vocalist to guitar, and now he plays bass. And Al Kazis, who was first in BKO, came to us in 2001 as a drummer vocalist, and now I'm a drummer vocalist. So we rotate in the band as certain songs he sings and certain songs he drums on, and then I sing and drum on certain songs.
Yeah, we were both in the same situation where we were lead singers and drummers, and this gave us the opportunity to actually be able to sing without actually playing the drums, which is much easier. As most drummers who sing, it's a difficult thing to do. So I thought it was a perfect mix, and been going strong since 2001. So.
And Mike joined us as far back as 88. Mike.
88.
And what, you want to tell that crazy story of how you joined it? Because it's actually Vít Kazis is instrumental in that story.
Absolutely. I remember being a fan of Steel Wolf long before I joined the band, and going to see them at the Tevynes,
which was the Lithuanian Cultural
Center.
The
Tevynes,
in Brooklyn, right?
In Bushwick, Brooklyn. And we were just having a good time watching the band, and a lot of the people wanted to hear the original material and not the covers. And Vitas was not too happy about that. He decided he was not going to be a part of that. Left the bass on stage, and basically I decided to walk up and started jamming Gloria for like 10 minutes. So it was only 3 notes, very easy for me to learn on the spot. And that was my beginning of being in Steel Wolf.
Right. So he's not an official member. He's just walked on stage at that point, and we've never left the band.
They actually threw the bass in my hand. I had no reason to refuse, so I was like, all right, let's do it.
And now he's gone to guitar now.
So speaking of original material, what are we going to hear next?
Okay, so a song off our 1998 release was called "Night of 1,000 Koldūnai," which stems from an evening that Ed Kazis and I were making koldūnai, as many Lithuanians do, and we said, man, this is we started referring to it as Night of 1,000 Koldūnai, and then we said, listen, we should write a song about that, and lo and behold, it became the song that you're about to hear.
Okay, once again, Steel Wolf.
near for Mindaugas retreats or ravaged woods. Injured men limp slowly back to burnt neighborhoods. From sick horses, soldiers fell asleep, disgraced and hurt. Clanging shovels told a knell for lassifers of dirt.
Where did they come from? Who made it first? Those delicious golden night. Well, give me a plate, I'll tell you the great legend of Mindaugas.
Famished weaklings drank their sweat for strength to dig their graves. Then on a hill, Mindaugas beheld glory in waves. Fields of wheat and onions grew as far as he could see. In the distance, cows and swine and hen ate peacefully.
Where do they come from? Who made them first? Those delicious golden night. Well, give me a plate, I'll tell you the great legend of Mindaugas.
Mindaugas with bleeding side, horses broke their backs. Soldiers prepared animals and placed them in stacks. Mindaugas prayed to pagan gods living in a tree. A wolf of steel told him to kneel and a recipe. With water from the Namunas, beat together eggs and flour. Spooning salt from your sweaty brow, eat for half an hour. The chopped meat of cows with onions shall be rolled in minute spheres, sheltered well in the tasty dough, secured with happy tears. Fry up a bacon onion sauce while boiling the kaldunai. Sour cream on the side is nice. This meal will surely satisfy. Soldiers ate ravenously and gave the steel wolf thanks. Men regained the strength to fight and fell into their ranks. The enemy was beat swiftly and jailed for endless days. Mindaugas ruled once again, all sang the steel wolf's praise.
Where did they come from? Who made them first? Those delicious golden night. Well, give me a plate, I'll tell you the great legend of Mindaugas. Delicious golden night. Well, give me a plate, I'll tell you the great legend of Mindaugas.
So that was unique. We had Mindaugas and Koldunai all wrapped up in one song.
Yes, a little history and a little bit of
Give me some kaldunai.
little tasty food delicacy there.
So why don't you talk about some of the places you've played over 30 plus years?
Well, the places that would probably most interest Lithuanian listeners would be like we had the opportunity to play at Camp Nettinga back in about 2000. One of their dances. We played a small club in Williamsburg in about 2003 called Crezo 2. Of course, early in our days, one of our rehearsal spaces was the Tevynes in Brooklyn. And we've recently played at a club in Williamsburg called Hail Hail, which Astra Bagjunas, those of you who know, she's an artist. She was the instrumental, and pardon the pun, in getting us that gig. And Camp Geraita is a gig that we've been playing at almost regularly now, yearly. Either collectively as a band or individual members have appeared there pretty much every year.
So
that's run by Tevynes Garsai.
So Geraita right here in Ashford, Connecticut.
Yeah, right here. We just played there a few weeks ago. It was a wonderful gig, nice turnout. And me and Ed Kazis also play at the Lithuanian scout camps now. We're always around the Laužas. He brings his guitar and I bring the bongos, and we do all kinds of numbers, Seawolf material, and covers in Lithuanian and English, and all kinds of things that are pleasing to the crowds there. And Mike, why don't you speak about the time we played at CBGB?
One of the greatest gigs ever. CBGB's.
And we actually played there twice.
Actually, twice. I saw you guys play the first time there back in 85, 86?
86, yeah.
Right. Then I had the opportunity to play there again in 2006. And, I, of course, this time being a band member, it was an amazing experience. CBGB's iconic venue, world famous. I've seen some of my favorite bands have played there, and I was truly honored to just walk on that stage. Just a totally amazing experience. Actually, that was the last gig before I took a hiatus back in 2006.
And then you were replaced by Paul Neronis,
Right.
who had been in the band briefly in the 80s and was originally a member of Clyde, Andy Leleke's band.
Okay, and CBGB's. That's just amazing to hear a place like that in New York City.
And we'll be headed to Manhattan as early as this coming Tuesday. We're playing at a place called the Shrine. It's in Harlem. And then July 9th we'll be at the Floral Park Public Library lawn. They have a summer concert every summer, and we got picked as the local band to play on their lawn. So
Public Library.
Right on the lawn. And actually our CDs, which I know we'll be talking about in the next segment, are available in the Nassau County Library System. So you can order, and you can order. I mean, obviously today, people who know, you can order things through libraries worldwide, but that's the main branch where all our material is available. I'm a resident of Floral Park, so that's how I got it in there.
So now, speaking of your newest CD, our third song we're going to hear
is from that CD, and it's called Sunday Morning. In fact, it was inspired by some happenings at Camp Gereita. It's called Sunday Morning, and there's a little title and subtitles, Where's the Krupnikas?
A straight, stiff shot starts the weekend off right. 1 or 2 liters get us through each night. When it's all done, our heads will ache, our eyes may run, and our hands will shake. Yet we as one won't take a break, 'cause we're tied to a higher stake. Sunday morning, Sunday morning, Sunday morning. A double shot starts the weekend off right. Pour around, leave the bottle. 3 or 4 liters get us through each night. Pour around, leave the bottle. When it's all done, our heads will ache, our eyes may run, and our hands will shake. Yet we as one won't take a break, 'cause we're tied to a higher stake. Sunday morning, where's the Krupnikas? Sunday morning, where's the Krupnikas? Sunday morning, where's the Krupnikas now? A triple shot starts the weekend off right. Pour around, leave the bottle. 5 or 6 liters get us through each night. Pour around, leave the bottle. When it's all done, our heads will ache, our eyes may run, our hands will shake. Yet we as one don't take a break, 'cause we're tied to a higher stake. Sunday morning, where's the Krupnikas? Sunday morning, and the cookie list. Sunday morning, where's the Krupnikas now? Sunday morning, where's the Krupnikas? Sunday morning, Sunday morning, where's the Krupnikas now?
några pussychums. Koshinai.
Loshineche.
Kaldunai! Krupnikas!
Okay, well, I guess I have to ask you, Mark, to talk about that last song.
Okay, so the last little piece you heard that we segued from Sunday Morning, Where's the Krupnikas, is a song that was written in the early 80s by Steel Wolf called A Complete Breakfast, although it's been translated into Lithuanian as Ką tu nori pusryčiams. And we used to record it as like a fun gag number that we used to do live and stuff. But then what happened when Ed Kazis and I went back to Lithuanian Scout Camp in the 2000s, we discovered that it had continued to live on as a shukis done by campers and done not just in the Northeast. We found out it was being done in Canada and Cleveland. So we've always kind of hoped things would happen like that with with us knowing it. But here we just walked into the camp when they were sitting at the lounges, and these kids ran up to the lounges and went, "Got to know the pussychums," and started banging on pots and pans. We were like, "Oh my gosh, can't believe that."
So this was at all the other scout stovyklas, all the other camps?
Yeah, we asked the scouts where they learned this, and they had no idea that it was a Steel Wolf originated from the band. They had just learned it from camp to camp to camp, and it kind of just grew that way, and so we were obviously very pleased with that happening. But that segued from the number that you heard before that I mentioned was based on an incident that happened at Camp Gereite, which we don't really have to talk about right now, but it was, you can guess what it was about, was because they have Krupnikas contests in Gereite. There's Krupnikas made, and then they have tasting contests. Yep. And I can actually mention my wife made a Krupnikas once that I entered for her, and it came in second one year, so that was kind of a
who
cool
usually
thing.
won that?
There's a gentleman, and he goes by the name Chuck, and I wish I knew whatever they call him Chuck. I don't know his full name or his actual name, but he won that year. And my wife came in second place, and that's off the album, the current album that just came out this year, 2015. It's called Hot Honey Liquor, which is the the American kind of equivalent of Krupnikas. And that album is currently available on iTunes, and you can stream it on Spotify. And it is available for purchase as a CD at Amazon.com, and you can get all this information from our website, which is a student-run website, because I am an English teacher. That's my day job, and the website is www.steelwolfband.com. So no plans to quit your day job anytime? No. That's going to be me and for the rest of my life. But the Steel Wolf is a great hobby and a great fun thing to do. I've been doing it all my life, more or less, and I mean it's a great thing to do. Well, hey, Janai, this was very different than anything we've done on this program. Like I said, we've had singers and performers, opera singers, sit here and talk, and nobody's ever performed live. The music was definitely a little more youthful, let's say, and exuberant than what we usually have. But it was very, I think it's very, Lithuanian themed, and you guys are great. It was great to finally get you here. I'm glad you contacted me about this, Mark. Well, thank you for having us. So, okay, and I know we're going to go get something to eat, but I wish you guys a great trip back to New York. Koldunai, yes. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Acha. Yep.